Good morning, everybody. We're going to have a look at the next person interviewed by the Wisconsin DOJ over the sexting career of Ken Kratz. This is number 6, I believe. Starting to lose count of how many there were. This is a Rebecca Heatpus, a 29-year-old, so a little bit more in Ken Kratz's typical age range. Like Susan Sorensen, she works in the as a social worker in Calumet County in the same building as Kratz, not the same office, but have to regularly have the misfortune of being in his presence. And rather funny line that Rebecca Heatpus refers to Ken Kratz when in court would often play with rubber bands and his mobile phone. But then they did have to talk about the upcoming case, and Rebecca had the job of kind of filling in the details for Kratz so that he knew what he was talking about. Apparently one day in March or April of 2009, Ken was in a particularly happy mood, and it helped to make Rebecca feel less nervous. And she made the fatal mistake. She sent a little memo to Ken Kratz just to thank him for being in a good mood that made her feel comfortable. The reply you get back, of course, from Ken, he immediately thinks the door has been opened. He replies with, "Thanks, you are different from the rest. I'm trying not to get too friendly, but you're easy to like." And we know exactly where Ken Kratz is now aiming. So Rebecca, immediately realizing, oh dear, what have I just opened? What door have I just opened? Sent a second email to try to diffuse any misunderstanding. But a couple of months later, Ken Kratz tried to make fun of her for the fact that she had used the word conflictual in court, both in court and afterwards. He tried to make fun of this, saying that it wasn't a real word. Well, it is a real word, conflictual, as she demonstrated by sending a further email. So she thinks that obviously that it was very rude of Ken Kratz to do that, to try and belittle her in that way. As I say, so she sent an email to which he replied, "Do you think I'm being bad?" He put, "Who checks on the DA to see if he's creepy? ? You can either flirt with me or not." 6 months later, in court, there was a 16-year-old victim. Again, much more Ken Kratz's sort of range. And he couldn't stop but mention to anybody that would listen to him that this 16-year-old girl was well endowed. The other thing that we get from Rebecca is that 2 months after that, he started talking a lot about separation from his wife, constantly trying to open the door, constantly trying to seek opportunities to try and discuss his sexual fantasies further. I think in the case of Ken Kratz, even just talking about it to other people is obviously something that he enjoys. Anyway, the last 2 victims have been very, as I say, unfortunate in the fact that they had to work alongside Ken Kratz at times, but never had the misfortune of any kind of physical contact. Our next victim, as we will see, this is one of the worst of the victims, or this is one of the worst episodes of Kratz's, well, I would have to say criminal behaviour. But anyway, we'll look forward to that, and that'll be coming up shortly. I think it's a victim by the name of Connie Palm. So she'll be number, oh my God, I'm losing track of them all, aren't they? What have we got so far? We've got Stephanie Van Grohl, Maria Ruskovich, Dawn King, The Confidential Informant, Susan Sorensen, Rebecca Heatpuss. Coming up next, Connie Palm. Catch you again soon. Bye for now.